What's up, fish family and fellow reef hobbyists? Thank you for clicking on this video. Well, today, sadly, I am doing my last update on my 24-gallon rimless Aquatop tank. I want to thank everybody that has been following me on YouTube with the series of my Aquatop tank. I did notice that the videos of the Aquatop actually receive more views than the others, so that means that more people are interested in with the Aquatop tank. One reason it could be that there isn't a lot of information on YouTube or in the internet regarding this brand, the Aquatop tanks, and I think I have seen 3 more people on YouTube that have decided to share their Aquatop tank with the fish tube community. So that is good that there's other people as well who are sharing their experiences and their thoughts on this tank. So today, I'm going to tell you guys the good and the bad and just the general overview of the Aquatop tank and my experience keeping this tank. So this is a 24-gallon Aquatop tank. I know they also have the 40-gallon, but I have a 24-gallon. So this is an all-in-one tank. It does come with a stand, and it does come with a back department that keeps all the equipment. This tank comes with the standard light, the standard return pump, the standard skimmer, and it has 3 baskets to hold your media, and it also comes with a black sponge. I didn't really do that much upgrades with the equipment because I think all the equipment is great. Even the light, it's great itself. It does grow corals, as I have that light right now, my 10-gallon saltwater slash reef tank. But one thing one thing I didn't like about the light is just that you cannot control the spectrum of the light. So that's why I decided to upgrade with an AI Prime HD. For the settings, I decided to use first, I used the Nano Karen's Reef settings. She's also a YouTuber. And by the mid cycle of me keeping this tank, I decided to go with bulk reef supply. And I noticed that my corals have grown rapidly with those settings. But if you're interested in figuring out the settings for your AI Prime HD, you could just type on YouTube AI Prime HD Nano Karen Reef or bulk resupply, and there you can see the videos of them showing you their settings. So now let's just jump into the tank. Just one equipment that I added that didn't come with the tank was the wave maker. I did go with a J-Bow. I don't know exactly which pump exactly I went with, but it was actually the nano pump. So it's a pump that probably is perfect for a 30-gallon tank, and that's it. And of course, you have to get your heater since I don't think no tank comes with heaters. Not even the Red Seas themselves come with heaters. So that's the only 2 equipment out of the stock equipment that I had to purchase, just the wave maker and the heater. Now let's go to what is inside the tank. So this is a 24-gallon, but the display is actually around 16 to 17 gallons of water, since the back department that hosts all the equipment actually is around 7 gallons or 8. Um, so there isn't a lot of room on the front display tank. Like I said, I did for the sand, I decided to go with around 20 pounds of live sand. So that gave me around 2 inches of sand bed, and I went with roughly around 15 pounds of live rock. For my livestock, I have my 2 Wyoming clownfish that I have kept them for about 2 years now. And at the end of the cycle of this tank, I just decided to go with a Mandarin goby, since I had a large population of cocoa pods. And it actually was bothering me seeing them all over the frag plug, so I had to control them one way, and that's why I bought my Mandarin goby. And of course, I kept corals, frog spawns, hammers, torches, Dunkins, candy canes, soas, and mushrooms and chalice. I have had a lot of success with all the corals except my hammer and my frog spawn. For some reason, they don't really extend or open up. At first, I thought it was because of the water flow, but I went to a local hobbyist, reef hobbyist house, and he was actually telling me that when people that sell the corals and they freshly cut them, Sometimes the coral could get the brown jelly disease, or it takes them longer to open up in a new tank. So he told me that when you get corals, just ask how long has the coral has been healing. He said you should take the coral home if the coral has been in that person's tank healing for around 2 weeks. Then you could take it home, and that is something that I have learned. Because before I'll buy corals, I'll take them home and they'll die, and I'll be like, "What? What's going on in my tank if all my other corals are doing well?" But now I know why. It's because the person didn't allow them to heal correctly, and of course they're not going to tell you because they want to sell the coral. Now for my cleanup crew, I think I have the standard cleanup crew as hermit crabs and snails. At one point I had a sand sifting starfish, but just being the fact that this tank is small, I actually had to transfer it in my 10 gallon. But a 10 gallon is smaller than a 16-gallon display tank. But there isn't a lot of corals in the sandband like there is on this tank. So the starfish is doing well on my 10-gallon tank. So now let me tell you guys what I think about this tank. There isn't really much complaining about this tank. One thing that I always doubted was just that because it's an off brand. It's a brand that you can't really get that much information online or on YouTube. Not many people keep Aquatop tanks. I don't know how long has this brand been out for. So that's one thing that I had doubts out. But it is a roughly cheap tank, but it is my first beautiful, unique tank. Of course, it's not your tank that has a trimming. It's a rimless tank, so 300 wasn't that much for me. And now being that it's an all-in-one, it's actually a better deal. Um, with this tank, it actually allowed me to learn more in the hobby. When I bought this tank, I knew I was going to take my time on actually keeping a successful reef tank, because before I had a 40-gallon reef tank, but I didn't really have any success with it. But this time I knew I was going to take my time. It has not been no more than a year, but this 9 months keeping this tank, it has helped me grow on this hobby. I feel like I'm successful now. I feel like I have learned many things in the hobby. Um, I never I never added no dosing pumps, no auto top offs, because there's things in this hobby that are not necessary. There's a lot of people that have many things that are not necessary. They are useful, but they're not necessary. It's like when I ask my wife, sometimes we think to ourselves, do we want it or do we need it? If we just want it, then we should think on it. But if we need it, we need it, so we need to keep it. So that's how it is on this hobby. Now, to to just supplement them with calcium, magnesium, I just did my weekly or bi-weekly water changes to restore the calcium, magnesium, alkalinity levels. Um, I kept my salinity around 0. Point, 0.02625. The temperatures were around 75 Fahrenheit. Um, Now let's go back to why this tank actually helped me and why I actually enjoyed keeping this Aquatop tank. One thing of all-in-one tanks is that they help you. They make it easier for you to maintain that certain tank, either being a planet tank, a freshwater tank, fish only tank, or a reef tank. This tank comes with all the equipment that you need to keep a saltwater reef tank. It has a skimmer, the stock return pump, it has the media baskets, and its sponge. Now all you have to do is add the water, add the sand, add the live rock, of course the salt, and your livestock. Now it's up to you to do your research, to know what does the fish need, what do the corals need, what type of salinity, what type of calcium, magnesium levels you need to keep a certain coral, what type of temperature does the water need. So that's one thing that has helped me and that I enjoyed keeping this tank, that I did everything slower. I took my time. I wasn't buying things that were not necessary. Um, just being in the hobby for this long, I have learned from my mistakes. Before I tried to get into the hobby, I felt discouraged. A lot of people had many things that were not necessary. I bought a lot of rock that at the end of the day you don't even need that much rock because you could host that beneficial bacteria and ceramic rings and the matrix and a bunch of other biomedia that could host that beneficial bacteria. Even your lives and your equipment, they hold the bacteria. There's people that even go bare bottom. Once you start to do more research, you figure it out what you need and how people keep their tanks, and then getting information from everywhere, you get like an idea of what you want and how, what's your dream of keeping your tank. um, Now, like I said, there isn't really nothing bad I could complain about the tank. It's not the highest quality, but it's not low quality. It's mid range. At first I questioned the silicon because you can even feel the silicon from inside. But not that long ago, I found out as well that the Red Sea aquariums also don't have silicon inside the tank. I mean, it seems like it does, but they only have their silicon where the glass touches. Because I know that Innovative Marines, even the standard tanks that come from Petco, PetSmart, they have their silicon inside, and I would prefer that because it actually makes you feel more safer. You won't have that doubt that your tank could leak, it could break, it could pop, because there's pressure inside those tanks because water is heavy. Now, now that was something that I doubted in this tank, and like I said, there isn't a lot of information out there with these Aquatop tanks. But don't be scared if you see an Aquatop tank. You want to get one, get one. It is a great entry level rimless tank all in one. Later on, you could upgrade. The reason I decided to upgrade was because it was my first time keeping a nano tank, a square box tank. When before I bought it, I knew that I was going to upgrade in the future. But I didn't know how fast I was going to upgrade. It has not even been a year. It's been around 9 months, and I'm already doing my upgrade. Just one thing, if I had to complain, is just that the display of the tank. You don't have that much room to play with the aquascape, with how many corals you want to keep, what type of fish you want to keep. So there is a lot of people that say start with bigger tanks, but sometimes there's people who live in apartments or are renting out. They don't want to buy a big tank. They want to keep a small tank. So what I recommend for those type of people, no more than 55 gallons. 55 gallons is the limit in my opinion. Um, Above 75, I think those are way too big fish tanks. Unless you're going to keep a big tank that you're not going to move for 5, 10 years, that tank is going to stay at its place. Because when I moved to my new home, I had 75 gallons, 40 gallons, had a bunch of fish tanks, and it was hard transferring all my fish tanks. And now I just keep smaller tanks, and I think that's better because it having smaller tanks helps you do shorter water changes. It makes things easier in my opinion once you get the hang of what how to keep a tank without harming the fish or the corals. I have a 6 gallon frag tank right now, and I really don't really pay attention to it. All I just do is I top it off with fresh water. I do my bi-weekly or weekly water changes, and my corals are growing. The tank looks well. Um, so this I'm going to cut the video now, and again I just want to thank everybody that has been following me on my Aquatop builds. It has been a successful reef keeping, you could say. I have learned a lot. I have kept corals that I thought I was never going to keep, and just keeping this tank actually encouraged me to try out new corals, to try out new equipment. Um, so if those who still have the Aquatop tank, still update me. Let me know when you're going to do an update on your tank. I am really interested, and I am hoping to see more of your videos on your tank. Right now I have the tank emptied out. I'm not sure what to do. I did put it up on sale, but we'll see if I'm able to sell it. If not, I'll just save it for in the future. I could do another build. But till then, I thank you guys again. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new, um, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, comment if you have any questions. And I hope I was able to give you guys some information and my opinion on the 24-gallon Aquatop rimless tanks. They are great tanks, great beginner tanks. And if you want to have a rimless, cheap fish tank, this is the tank to go. And now you know the experience of other people who keep this tank, so don't be discouraged. At first I was discouraged because I couldn't find a lot of videos on YouTube or any information online, and those people that they'll put their tanks out there, but they didn't really give you a their opinion and what comes with the tank, what they had to do. So I hope I did that, and if I didn't, I am sorry. But there's other people who are starting to upload videos on this type of brand. So till then, thank you guys again, and I am out. And happy fish keeping and reef keeping, and I'm out.